1. Top 14 Dynasty Draft Picks for 2025 Fantasy Football. 2. 2025 to 26 FYPD Rankings. Top Prospects after MLB Draft Day 1. 3. Fantasy Football. 5 Undervalued Rookies who could dominate immediately. 4. Top Dynasty Football Rookie RB Rankings for 2025 Jeanty, Judkins and more. 1. Top 14 Dynasty Draft Picks for 2025 Fantasy Football. Are you ready to transform your approach to the 2025 Dynasty Drafts? Preparation is key if you want to dominate your league, and we've got expert insights just for you. Take a look at our expert consensus rankings to get a jumpstart on potential picks. You might want to check out our quick and simple mock drafts to practice your strategy. Below, we break down some players our analysts are particularly enthusiastic about, showcasing who to consider this draft season. Hashtag Dynasty Draft Strategy. Player picks worth considering. Hashtag quarterbacks to watch. Jayden Daniels, Washington Commanders. What can Jayden Daniels possibly do following an incredible rookie year? After being picked second overall in the recent NFL draft, he impressively claimed the Offensive Rookie of the Year title by throwing for 3,568 yards and 25 touchdowns, while also rushing for 891 yards and 6 touchdowns. This performance earned him the distinction of finishing as the 5th best quarterback in fantasy football. With the Commanders enhancing their offense by bringing in new wide receivers, Deebo Samuel and Dyami Brown, as well as securing a solid left tackle in Laramie Tunsil, Daniels is poised for even more success in 2025. Expect him to remain a standout in the fantasy realm.
Pat Fitzmaurice.
Drake Maye, New England Patriots. Drake Maye is likely to make his way into the top 12 quarterback conversations this season. The Patriots' offense is set to improve, thanks to strategic acquisitions during free agency and the draft. Maye's ability to make plays on the ground further solidifies his position. Interestingly, out of the 7 quarterbacks in 2024 who rushed for over 30 yards, 5 of them ranked in the top 6 for fantasy points per dropback. His rookie performance was nothing short of noteworthy. In a challenging situation, he averaged 18.1 fantasy points per game, securing the 15th position among quarterbacks. Andrew Erickson.
**J.J. McCarthy, Minnesota Viking, ***.
While it's true that we haven't seen much of J.J. McCarthy aside from a limited preseason appearance last year, I'm excited about the potential he brings this season. The Vikings are expected to continue their passing-heavy approach, having ranked 8th in neutral passing rates last year, alongside bolstering their offensive line to give McCarthy ample time to excel against opposing defenses. The previous year, Sam Darnold surprisingly ranked 9th in fantasy points per game, showing that Kevin O'Connell's quarterbacks consistently perform well. After an impressive college career, McCarthy seems to be entering a prime position for success in 2025. Derek Brown. Hashtag running backs to target. Chase Brown, Cincinnati Bengals. Chase Brown made a significant impact with an impressive workload during his rookie season, clocking in at 229 carries for 990 yards and 7 rushing touchdowns, along with 54 receptions that netted him an additional 360 yards and 4 receiving touchdowns. His half-point PPR fantasy scoring ranked him as the 12th best running back. Notably, from Week 4 onwards, he emerged as the 6th best wide receiver in scoring and the 7th best running back on a per-game basis. With no significant changes to the running back lineup in Cincinnati, Brown is likely to maintain his lead role in one of the league's most prolific offenses.
Pat Fitzmaurice.
Chuba Hubbard, Carolina Panthers. Chuba Hubbard exceeded expectations last year, finishing as the 13th best running back in fantasy points per game. He took on the lead role for the Panthers and is set to retain it this coming season. His performance statistics reveal that he ranked high in multiple areas: 3rd in snap share, 4th in opportunity share, and 14th in red zone opportunities. As the Panthers team grows stronger in 2025, Hubbard stands poised to crack the top 10 running backs. With a stellar 11th ranking and explosive run rates last season, it seems a breakout season for him is on the horizon. Derek Brown. Cam Skatebo, New York Giants. Skitebo has strong potential after being drafted in the 4th round, positioning him as a frontrunner for a leading role in the backfield. The Giants saw inconsistent performances from Tyrone Tracy last season, and Devin Singletary seems unlikely to take the lead role now. Known for his remarkable volume in college, Skitebo showed immense potential, ranking 21st in yards after contact and 11th in elusive rating last year. While it may take time for him to dominate the snap count, he possesses the skills necessary to quickly become a vital fantasy contributor. Expect to see him leap close to the top 15 running backs throughout the season. Derrick Brown. Marshawn Lloyd, Green Bay Packers. Lloyd's rookie season was plagued by injuries, including a hamstring strain and an ankle sprain, followed by an appendicitis operation. This began to paint an unfortunate picture for the talented 3rd-round pick out of USC. Nevertheless, his potential shouldn't be overlooked. He exhibited remarkable capabilities during his time in college. With the Packers having made no additions to the backfield, Lloyd is well-positioned for the RB2 role behind Josh Jacobs and might even see standalone value as the season progresses. Derrick Brown. #, wide receivers to consider. Drake London, Atlanta Falcons. Last year marked a pivotal moment for Drake London with a breakout season after experiencing better overall quarterback performance. His impressive stats reflected a WR13 finish, thanks to 157 targets and 100 successful receptions. Ranking high in target share and receiving yards, London is set for an even brighter future into 2025, especially now that Michael Penix will likely take over as quarterback. His prior statistics with Kirk Cousins and Penix demonstrated a strong connection that could yield fantastic results. Should he maintain a fraction of his season-high performance, he might be a serious contender for an elite WR position. Derrick Brown. Jaylen Waddle, Miami Dolphins. In 2024, Jaylen Waddle's role diminished as new players filled in for crucial targets. With on-field injuries impacting his team's productivity, Waddle's fantasy performance suffered. However, with his age at just 26, his potential remains high, particularly if the Dolphins revamp their offensive strategies this coming year. With critical changes in the team structure, Waddle stands to gain significantly. Andrew Erickson. Jordan Addison, Minnesota Vikings. Jordan Addison might still be young, but he's already contributed significantly to multiple touchdown seasons in the NFL. Even while splitting targets with a top-tier receiver, Addison has shown noteworthy results in fantasy performance. If skepticism about sharing the field with a top receiver persists, now might be the perfect opportunity to acquire him at a discount.
Pat Fitzmaurice.
Ricky Pearsall, San Francisco 49ers. Ricky Pearsall faced a tough 2024 due to injury. Yet, he rebounded to showcase his potential with big performances in the latter part of the season. Notably, he finished strong with impressive receiving numbers. With key players potentially absent this year, Pearsall is poised for an exciting year that could lead to a breakout. Andrew Erickson. #, tight ends to watch. Tucker Kraft, Green Bay Packers. Tucker Kraft had a breakout year leading all tight ends with impressive stats and solidifying his role with the Packers. Even though quarterback injuries hindered the passing game's potential, Kraft still finished as the 8th-ranked tight end in overall scoring, with a strong presence in the receiving game. With the team's future offensive setups in play, Kraft is likely to be a key player moving forward. Andrew Erickson. Kyle Pitts, Atlanta Falcons. Despite a rocky few years, Kyle Pitts remains a name to watch. After a stellar rookie season at age 20, expectations have not been met in following years. However, with new leadership and familiarization with his role, it seems there's still hope for improvement in his performance out on the field as the connection with quarterback Michael Penix grows stronger.
Pat Fitzmaurice.
Elijah Arroyo, Seattle Seahawks. Arroyo's move to Seattle as a second-round draft pick positions him as an impactful talent who could reshape the Seahawks' tight end game. Not only is he an athletic asset, but with projected developments, he could present a valuable opportunity for fantasy managers in upcoming seasons. If he continues to develop, Arroyo could easily become the second target in the aerial attack behind Jackson Smith-Njigba. Derrick Brown. In summary, Our consensus ranking of Dynasty draft prospects is sure to have an impact on your 2025 fantasy football strategy. Explore our latest rankings and don't hesitate to sync your league for tailored advice. 2. 2025 to 26 FYPD rankings. Top prospects after MLB Draft Day 1. The 2025 to 26 First-Year Player Draft, FYPD, rankings are back and updated. The first day of the 2025 Major League Baseball, MLB, draft has concluded, and what an eventful day it turned out to be. With unexpected selections and significant shifts occurring at the top of the draft, it surely kept everyone on their toes. However, since there wasn't a definitive first overall pick, it's easy to see how the day could become quite unpredictable. Now that we have identified potential teams for these promising draft candidates, it's time to reassess and update our rankings for the FYPD. In many fantasy leagues, players selected in the draft are picked up almost immediately, so we're eager to share this revised list to assist you in your drafting preparations. It's important to note that these rankings hinge on the players officially signing contracts with their corresponding teams. Nonetheless, we can be reasonably certain that the majority, if not all, of these athletes will formalize agreements with their new clubs in the upcoming days. As time progresses, you can expect this list to change over the next few months. We will gather more data, and as some of these talented players begin their professional debuts, our insights will further develop. Greg Hoobkamp, Director of Dynasty Content. Originally from Canada, I now reside in Arkansas with my wonderful wife and our 2 sons, Ezra and Ari. I have a deep-rooted passion for baseball, both as a player and a dedicated follower of the game, and I have engaged in Dynasty leagues for over 25 years. Stay updated. Subscribe to Prospects Live to receive all the latest news and insights directly in your inbox. 3. Fantasy Football. 5 undervalued rookies who could dominate immediately. Fantasy Football Alert. 5 rookie gems flying under the radar that could explode right away. Every new NFL season brings a wave of excitement and uncertainty around rookies. These fresh faces can either become fantasy football superstars overnight or fade into obscurity by midseason. But here's the kicker. Some rookies are seriously undervalued right now, and recognizing them early could give you a huge edge in your fantasy league. And this is the part most people miss. It's not just about raw talent, but also about landing spots, coaching schemes, and opportunity. Let's dive into 5 rookies who check all those boxes and could make an immediate impact. 1. Omarion Hampton, RB, Los Angeles Chargers, ADP, 4.11. Omarion Hampton is stepping into a dream scenario for a running back. The Chargers' offensive coordinator, Greg Roman, has a well-earned reputation for building run-heavy offenses. His previous stops with the Ravens, Bills, and 49ers saw those teams finish first and third in rushing attempts, respectively. Hampton, who spent his college years gradually increasing his workload, is poised to be the lead back in a system that prioritizes the ground game. What makes Hampton stand out? His elite speed. He ranks among the top 10 fastest FBS running backs over the past 8 years, trailing only a couple of current NFL stars. While he excels in zone running schemes, Roman's offense traditionally favors man-blocking gap runs, which could be a slight mismatch. However, the Chargers' offensive line is solid, if not spectacular, and they ranked better in zone runs last season, suggesting some flexibility in their approach. Hampton's receiving skills are promising, too. He's more polished catching out of the backfield than many rookies, combining speed with the ability to avoid tackles. Yet, Roman's history shows a tendency to underutilize running backs in the passing game, which might limit Hampton's target volume. Plus, with Najee Harris sharing snaps, Hampton might not immediately crack the top 10 fantasy running backs, but he's a strong candidate to start early in the season. If the Chargers adapt their offense to his strengths, his fantasy outlook could skyrocket. 2. Teteroa McMillan, WR, Carolina Panthers, ADP, 7.01. McMillan is arguably the crown jewel of the 2025 wide receiver class, especially as a true X-receiver, a role the Panthers sorely missed last season. Over 3 years at Arizona, he consistently dominated, posting 80-plus receiving yards in nearly 2/3 of his games. His final college season showed growth in contested catches and separation, even though he did drop more passes than the previous year. Standing tall at 6'2", McMillan ranks among the best Power 5 receivers of the past decade, with a receiving grade that puts him in elite company alongside names like CeeDee Lamb and Courtland Sutton. The Panthers' receiving core last year was a revolving door due to injuries and inconsistency, so McMillan's arrival fills a glaring void. Under new head coach Dave Canales, who has a track record of developing top-tier X-receivers like DK Metcalf and Mike Evans, McMillan's potential is even more exciting. Canales' offenses haven't always been high-powered, but his ability to create big play opportunities for his top receivers is undeniable. McMillan could emerge as a top 10 fantasy wideout as a rookie, though there's a chance he might need some time to adjust amid a crowded receiver room. 3. RJ Harvey, RB, Denver Broncos, ADP 5.08. RJ Harvey's journey from a backup at UCF to a highly efficient lead back is impressive. Despite moving from the AAC to the tougher Big 12, he maintained a high rushing grade against Power 5 opponents, ranking just ahead of some notable names like Blake Corum and Travion Henderson. Harvey's receiving game dipped slightly in 2024 due to a few costly errors, but his elusiveness and tackle avoidance remain his biggest strengths. At 5'8" and 205 pounds, he fits the mold of successful smaller backs like Devonta Freeman and Michael Carter. The real wild card here is Sean Payton's offense. Known for involving running backs heavily in the passing game, Payton's Broncos have led the league in running back receptions over the past 2 years. Harvey could fill a role similar to Alvin Kamara's rookie season, where he was a part-time back but still finished 4th in fantasy points per game. However, the Broncos' backfield has been notoriously unstable recently, with roles shifting unpredictably week to week. While Harvey and J.K. Dobbins might bring stability, there's no guarantee. Still, if Harvey nails the passing down role and gets a decent number of carries, a top 10 fantasy season is within reach. 4. Matthew Golden, WR, Green Bay Packers, ADP 10.01. Matthew Golden's stock soared after a breakout college football playoff, where he racked up over 400 yards and showed off his knack for making tough sideline catches. Though his overall college career was solid but unspectacular, those playoff performances and a blazing 4.29-second 40-yard dash at the Combine turned heads. Interestingly, Golden's in-game speed is more average, which suggests his success comes from route running and catching ability rather than pure speed. The Packers' wide receiver group is thin beyond their top 2, and with Christian Watson sidelined for much of the season due to injury, Golden has a real shot to step into a significant role as a deep threat. That said, the Packers have a crowded receiver rotation, including a recent third-round pick, so Golden might share snaps and targets. Last year, no Packers receiver was a reliable fantasy starter, so Golden's upside is tied to whether he can break out as a true number 1 option. He's a high-upside dart throw in the mid to late rounds, but carries the risk of being just a role player. 5. Colston Loveland, TE, Chicago Bears, ADP 11.05. Loveland quietly emerged as one of the best tight ends in college football, ranking 8th among Power 5 tight ends over the past 5 seasons with an impressive 88.5 receiving grade. While Michigan's run-heavy offense limited his route volume, his efficiency was outstanding, especially in separation and yards per route run. Loveland's biggest challenge was contested catches and crossing routes, but his overall skill set suggests he can be a top 12 fantasy tight end right away. The Bears' new head coach, Ben Johnson, has a history of heavily involving tight ends in his offense, as seen with Sam Laporta in Detroit. Johnson's offense runs a high number of plays and scores well, but much depends on quarterback Caleb Williams' development. Williams has shown flashes but also inconsistency, and his willingness to throw deep could unlock big plays for Loveland. If the offense clicks, Loveland could be the next elite fantasy tight end, but it hinges on the Bears' overall offensive success. Final thoughts. These 5 rookies are flying under the radar but have the talent, opportunity, and coaching situations to make an immediate fantasy impact. But here's where it gets controversial. Do you trust rookies to deliver right away, or is patience the better play? Are you willing to gamble on a rookie's landing spot and scheme fit, or do you prefer proven veterans? Let us know your thoughts. Which of these undervalued rookies do you think will dominate, and who might disappoint? Join the conversation and share your take in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to PFF Plus for exclusive player grades, premium stats, fantasy rankings, and all the tools you need to crush your fantasy draft this season. 4. Top Dynasty Football Rookie RB Rankings for 2025 Jeanty, Judkins, and more. When it comes to the unpredictable world of fantasy football, few players evoke more uncertainty than rookie running backs. Among these newcomers, it's particularly crucial to get your assessments right, as running backs have the potential to shine as elite stars from day one, even as the competition across positions continues to intensify. In this analysis, we're diving into our top 6 rookie running backs for Dynasty leagues, equipping you with the insights to make informed choices when it's time to draft. Let's not beat around the bush. It's widely understood that Jeanty is poised to be the first rookie running back taken in drafts this season, and it's hard to argue against that. If you want to add him to your roster, brace yourself to part with a first-round pick. He's absolutely worth it. Now, let's discuss Hampton, who has shown himself to be a remarkable runner who has landed on a team committed to a strong ground game. Under the guidance of head coach Jim Harbaugh, the commitment to running the ball has been made clear through both the play-calling strategy and the overall team composition. While the recent acquisition of Najee Harris might create an initial split in playing time, it's likely that Hampton will assert himself as the clear starter due to his undeniable skill set. Keep an eye on Harris's recent injury to his eye from July 4th fireworks. This setback could open the door for Hampton to seize a significant portion of snaps as the season approaches. Henderson stands out as one of the most electrifying playmakers among this rookie crop. He consistently poses a threat for explosive plays and is likely to earn a substantial role in the passing game. The Patriots' offense is on the rise, fueled by a promising second-year quarterback and a running back whose performance has been waning. When Henderson takes the field, the offense is expected to gain a new level of explosiveness compared to when Ramondre Stevenson is in play. Henderson appears to be on track to become a star in PPR, points per reception, formats, although his projected lack of volume keeps him from a higher ranking. There's been a tug-of-war in my evaluations between Henderson and Judkins over the past few weeks. However, Judkins' recent arrest for domestic violence has pushed him a notch below Henderson in my rankings. It's a close call between these two former Ohio State players. While Judkins may not possess the same level of dynamism, his ability to handle a heavier workload sets him apart. It's worth noting that rookies Dylan Sampson and Jerome Ford could impact Judkins' chances of delivering outstanding performances more than Stevenson would affect Henderson's. Both players are impressive, making the competition fierce, but Judkins has dropped just outside the top 3 of this list. In a shocking turn of events, Quinton Judkins, the second-round running back for the Browns, has recently been arrested on charges related to battery and domestic violence in Florida. This incident has certainly raised eyebrows and added to the complexities surrounding his future in the league. Looking forward, it's anticipated that Johnson will smoothly transition into the role held by Najee Harris alongside Jaylen Warren this upcoming season. Mike Tomlin and offensive coordinator Arthur Smith have expressed intentions to rely on a strong running game, and Johnson appears set to receive more than 15 carries per game. He represents an upgrade over Harris in both passing scenarios and big play opportunities. There's real potential for Johnson to emerge as an RB1 this year. He could even perform better than his current ranking suggests, especially if Aaron Rodgers manages to elevate the team's overall output. Perhaps the biggest surprise in the rookie rankings following this year's draft is R.J. Harvey. His rise, however, might not be fully justified. If you had reservations about Harvey during his college career, you might want to be cautious about placing too much trust in Sean Payton's coaching. Although there's a narrative that investing in Payton's running backs pays off, as one typically breaks out each year, history shows a trend of disappointments and lackluster production. Harvey initially appeared promising before the addition of J.K. Dobbins muddied the waters, complicating Harvey's potential for high volume. Are we still holding on to the hope that Payton can turn less talented players into stars? Or should we recognize that players like Drew Brees, Jimmy Graham, and Alvin Kamara might just be extraordinary talents who don't need a coach's influence to shine? What do you think? Are you on board with these rankings, or do you see the landscape differently? Let's hear your views in the comments.